What up, everybody, and welcome to Baz on Blades. My name is Baz, and I talk about blades. Today, we're going to respond to a tag. There's a tag that has been going around a lot of the popular knife review channels, at least the ones that I follow and many of you guys follow. And I do not know who started this tag. I suppose if I go back and track through everybody's videos, I can finally narrow it down to one person. But since all of my internet access is through my little smartphone, it just turns into a pain in the butt to track things down like that. But I can tell you who tagged me, and that was Zelrick. Thank you, Zelrick. And this one's been really popular. And basically this tag is, what knife do I really carry? And I suppose that the focus of this is, we all review so many knives. Many of these channels just every day, they're literally posting new reviews every day. And of course, I can't afford to keep up with those guys. But all of us are just posting and posting and posting all these knives, and we're rolling these knives through our collections, and we're getting in loaner knives, and some of us get knives from sponsors. And when I say us, I don't mean me. I don't have any sponsors. But the thing is we have so many knives that come through, and our viewers, they don't really know what it is that we personally carry. So I guess that's what this is all about. And like in many of my videos, it is impossible for me to narrow down to just one knife, regardless of what the reason is, because like many knife enthusiasts, I have an extensive collection, and my collection tends to be only what I consider to be special knives. If I get a knife and I don't bond with it, I don't put it in my collection and just go, okay, I've got added another. Now I've got 500 knives. I prefer to have a smaller collection and only have very special knives that are special to me within a niche that they fulfill for me. So I keep my collection around 25 folders. And I just rotate in and out of that. So what I'm going to do is, I have specific reasons that I carry knives. And within those reasons, I am going to show you the knife that I carry the most. And the first category, let's call it, is my everyday carry beater knife. And you know what? That's a tough one to choose, you would think. But in my instance, it's not. There was a knife that came out late last year that just blew me away. I cannot stress enough how much I like this knife design. It is not about the materials. It's a budget knife. It's not super high quality, but the design just blew me away. And that is the Denso Firebird 761. In this instance, this is the 761 carbon fiber, and I like to get the carbon fiber versions of the Densos. And this is one of what came out late last year, 2017, an original design from Denso. And I'm going to tell you what, it is a shame that this knife was introduced by Denso, not because I have anything against Denso or there's anything wrong with this knife, but because since Denso does a lot of derivative, quote-unquote, borrowed or copied designs, this company does not get respect from a lot of people. And I'm not here to preach to anybody. If somebody doesn't want to own Denso or doesn't want to review Denso because they have an issue with them copying other designs, I am totally behind you with that. I totally understand that. But what I'm saying is, it is a shame that this design came out and it's going to be overlooked by so many people because of the way they personally feel. And again, I support that. I'm just saying This design is fabulous. It is hands down the best Ganzo design ever, period, in my opinion. There's nothing special about the build. It's typical carbon fiber G10 laminate 440C, weight relieved stainless liners with the Ganzo G-lock. It's just typical materials for them. Fit and finish is typical. The fit and finish is good on it, good overall. But this design is so good. It is such a good EDC design. It's approximately the same size as a Spyderco Paramilitary 2. It's a little bit heavier because it's got these thick steel liners, but not a lot heavier. But I'm going to tell you what, the handle design is, it's just as compact as it needs to be, but big enough for a full grip. It's not too thick. It's not too wide. You've got this fabulous drop point blade with a super high flat grind on a wide profile. Gives you a nice thin edge. I've had 4 of these knives come through my hand, 4 of the carbon fiber versions. Consistency, guys. The most consistent Ganzo model I've ever had come through my hands. Every one of them is great. Now this one I did put my edge on the KME, and it is a slicer dicer, guys. So this is my absolutely most carried EDC beater knife. No competition out of my collection, guys. And I've got all kinds of EDC beater knives. I will carry this one more than all the rest of them put together. It is such a great design. All right, next. Well, you know, we go out every day, every one of us, and we're getting into knife fights all over the place. The times are bad, guys. You cannot go to the grocery store without some old woman pulling out a knife and wanting to throw down with you. So I've got what I consider to be my most carried martial use knife, and that is the Cold Steel War G10, the 4-inch version. And I'm going to tell you right now, I've had some very, very good folding fighter type knives, many custom versions, custom knives come through my hand, many high-end production knives, and for my hand, this knife is perfect. It feels like it was custom molded for my hand. This is a wicked trailing point sort of upswept Indo-Persian blade design with a super high full flat grind, nice piercy point on it. This is one of the newer versions in CTS XHP, so fabulous blade steel. The best wave type opener I've ever used. This Demco design thumb plate. It's hard to take this knife out of your pocket without waving it open. You don't even have to try. Of course, you've got the triad lock, probably and arguably the strongest locking mechanism on the production knife market. I have zero thoughts of a triad lock ever failing me. Nice grippy G10, as I said, a superbly ergonomic handle shape that just, in my medium hands, guys, this thing, it would be damn near impossible to knock this out of my hands in any type of confrontation. And it is just a wicked knife. So there we go. That's my most carried sort of martial tactical knife. Now, what happens when you're going out on the town? You got to have something a little dressier, guys. And we've all got, you know, some dressy knives, or we should, because when you're taking your lady out or you're going out on a special occasion, you need to have a special knife with you. And my go-to on that, carried more than any other option in my collection, is the Zero Tolerance 0452 carbon fiber. I've got a review of this knife up. I've got reviews of all these knives up, guys. So you can go and look at individual reviews, but this knife is just hands down my absolute favorite ever zero tolerance knife, and it is my most carried sort of dress up type of knife. And you know, dress up to me may be different from other people. You don't see a lot of exotic hardware on this, or anodizing, or anything special like that. You know, I'm more of an industrial sort of type of fan, and within that parameter, I love the look of the carbon fiber, the satin finish on the blade, a nice sort of dressy designer pivot, you know, stonewash finish back here. This is one of the few knives that I've actually put a bead on, and that's a titanium and carbon fiber bead to match this knife. It matches very well, and I carry this knife more than all of my other dressy sort of Saturday night knives put together, guys. So there's my most often carried of my dressy knives. Now, the next thing is a church knife. And the church knife is more of a restricted social atmosphere type of knife. And by that I mean it's the knife you can carry if you're going to church, you're going to a social outing that might have a little more of a predominantly liberal mindset of people that are there. You don't want to carry a big knife, a scary looking knife. And we got to keep in mind, knives to us that aren't scary looking are scary looking to other people. So what I'm carrying is this little square bolstered two blade sort of Stockman from Case. This is a smaller knife in carbon steel. This is actually my grandfather's knife, and these knives were made between 64 and 69, I believe. So this knife is quite a bit older than I am. It is in fabulous, fabulous condition. It's in Delrin, brown Delrin. Everything on it is patinaed, and it just is a beautiful, beautiful little knife. You just slip that down in your pocket, it disappears. You know, if you got some small cutting tasks, it'll, you know, you're at a wedding, or you're at church, or you're at any type of social gathering, you can pull this knife out and use it around people without freaking anybody out. For that purpose, and out of all the small knives that I have, I carry this knife more than any other. So it is my most carried church knife. All right. Now, a lot of you know that unlike a lot of other channels, I do quite a bit with fixed blade knives. And I carry a fixed blade, a small fixed blade, very often. I always, if I'm out in the field, have a small fixed blade on me. If I have my firearm on me, I always have a small fixed blade. And predominantly the one that I carry is the Columbia River Obake. I love this little knife. I've actually got a couple of these. It is one of only 2 knives in my collection that I own more than one of. I very seldom do that in my collection. And this knife is awesome. It is awesome, guys. It gives you that Asian look, sort of a modernized Asian look. It's sort of cool looking with this, you know, acid splashed etching on the blade. It's very piercy. It's compact. It's easy to carry. I carry this IWB on my offside opposite my firearm, and it is with me a lot, guys. All right, so let's go ahead and bring these back out, and we will sort of arrange these where we can look at them. And hopefully we can get these all in the shot here, guys. And you know what? I'm sorry that I can't just do a this is the knife I carry more than anything type of video. But that's just not the type of knife person that I am. And when you have an extensive knife collection, it's hard to be that guy. I mean, really, think about this. If you have 25, let's just say 25 folding knives in your collection, really, is there one folding knife there that you absolutely, predominantly carry all the time? Probably not. There may be one that you carry fairly often. There may be a few that you carry fairly often and you rotate them out. And then you've got some sort of safe queen knives. And then you've got some sort of specialty knives that you don't carry all the time. And that's the way a lot of us are. That's the way I am. But what you see here is what I really do in my collection. This is what I carry the most in my collection all the time. Every one of these knives has tons of time on it, more than any other of its type in my collection. It was easy to pick these guys out. It was really hard to narrow down the categories, but within those categories, it was very easy to pick out what I carry more often than anything else. So these are the knives that you will find in my pocket all the time, guys. These are the ones that I carry all the time. Now, I feel like I'm sort of at the tail end of the life of this tag, and I'm not exaggerating. Everybody has been tagged on this. But I think there's a few guys and gals that have not been tagged, and I'm going to try 3 of them. The first is EDC with Aaron. I know Aaron's got some stuff going on in his personal life. He's not been real active lately, but I'm going to go ahead and tag him because I don't think he's done this yet. The next is somebody that is sort of outside of my circle, but I sub to and follow, and that is Kevin Cleary. And then the third is Bird and Frankie over at Birdshot 4. And I don't think that any of the 3 of these have done this. If they have, they haven't posted it yet that I have seen because I'm subbed to all of them. But if you guys know any of them, you talk to them and let them know they got tagged. I'm going to try to reach out to them and let them know. And this was actually pretty fun. It's another opportunity to talk about knives. I mean, I'm not reviewing a knife. I'm just talking about knives because I love knives, guys. And you guys love knives, and we can just love them together. It's like a big knife 3-way here. Not exactly the same, but you know what I'm talking about. All right. As always, I appreciate you taking the time to watch one of my videos. God bless all of you, and we will talk to you again.